I'm going to be using only these 4 products right here. And this one is the only one that you've seen before. This is one of the RMK blush duos that they just released with their beige library collection. You can check out my review for that whole collection if you click over here in case you missed it. Everything else are some newbies that I picked up at the drugstore over the past few weeks. So no more talking, I'm just going to dive in and get started. Well, I will be probably talking still, but I'm going to try and apply makeup and talk at the same time. Speaking of which, I think I mentioned this before, but I really do think that with regards to beauty content on YouTube moving forward, we are seeing a bigger trend of... That's too much eye primer. Hold on, let me get a tissue. We are seeing a trend of more and more so-called beauty gurus on YouTube combining makeup content with other interesting, like with another interesting genre. So whether it be makeup and true crime, which Bailey Sarian is known for popularizing, or there's another really great funny comedian type of YouTuber named Jamie French. She has a really hilarious series on her channel where she applies makeup while reviewing really bad cringy movies. Usually it's from the 90s or, you know, early 2000s, that time period. I think her and I are the same age. So content like that is really starting to take off these days, or it has been for a while, because not too many people have the ability or the chance to make it really big these days based on purely makeup and beauty content alone. You have to add like a plus alpha element to your content essentially in order to grow and really, you know, stick in people's minds, which is a good thing and a bad thing. I mean, on the one hand, it is allowing for more creativity and people just like having the room to create all of these different little niches and combinations of topics. It actually gives their content a bigger chance to be successful in this climate. But then at the same time, it's also like exponentially more work and pressure on the creator to have to provide all of these different types of entertainment at the same time, essentially, rather than, you know, the good old days where one could just solely focus on putting out really good makeup reviews. So that's something that I've definitely been mulling over for the past few months. I'm starting out with the Etusee Eye Edition color palette. This is in 03. They don't have the name of the actual color story written on here, so I'll put it up in the captions. But it's just a pretty neutral brown eyeshadow duo. Nothing spectacular or out of left field. Actually, these are pretty spectacular as far as the formula goes for a drugstore brand. These are super smooth and buttery, and I really like the subtle sheen that they give off. Very flattering in my opinion. You see how this darker brown here is like basically a matte, but with just a little bit of a sheen to give you that like that light reflection. Really helps to bring dimensionality into your look, especially if you're a flat eyelid girl like me. You know the struggle that we deal with sometimes of having our eyeshadow look too flat when it's a pure matte shade. So I'm just starting off with the lighter color actually. This eyeshadow gives a very even but also really soft and diffused look. I love it. It's super easy to blend out, like it's very, very easy to control and get rid of the harsh edges. Okay, then I'm adding the darker shade in kind of a halo style. So I'm gonna darken up both the outer and inner corners of my eye. This light is a little bit too light. There we go. Ooh, I love this tone of brown so much. It just goes perfectly with my skin tone. Like, it's not too dark, kind of has a golden effect because of the sheen, but the actual shade is, but then it's also not too dark to the point where it looks muddy or dirty, because sometimes that can happen to me if I pick browns that are too, I don't know, dark or harsh looking. This does not give me any of those issues whatsoever. Why do I not use this palette more? I picked it up a while ago. I'm gonna bring it down just on the outer 1/3 of the lower lash line. I'm being super sloppy and carefree with my application because this eyeshadow blends itself. And just by nature of the shade and the effect being just right, you don't really have to worry about over applying or anything. I'm using a pretty heavy hand right now. Like I said, I'm being really sloppy, not really paying attention to pressure or crafting a distinct shape, but as you can see, it's just blending itself out. So now I'm going to add a cream eyeshadow by the brand &B. It's just called Cream Eyeshadow in the shade Bronze Orange. You are going to gag when you see this shade. So this is by the brand &B, which is produced by a pretty well-known makeup artist named Yusuke Kawakita. I used to really love one of his liquid eyeliners that was not part of this brand, because this &B line is still relatively new. But like back in the day, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I used to use this liquid eyeliner that was produced by him for a different brand called Leonani. I don't know if that particular eyeliner is still around or if it was just a one-time collaboration. I'm sure I could find it if I really wanted to, but I've since found other eyeliners that work as good or even better for me now. So anyway, his line has been getting good reviews, and for a good reason, because the products are pretty bomb, I have to say. The only problem is, if you can guess, the price point is absolutely ridiculous, especially for a drugstore brand. So this tiny little singular eyeshadow retails for 2,200 yen. This is what we're dealing with in the drugstore now, you guys. Look at how gorgeous this color is though. I almost can't even be mad. It's like molten golden lava. That's how I would describe this. I mean, look at that. The camera does not do it justice. It's literally like liquid metal or cream metal. So I'm going to dip in with an angle brush and pretty much just try to do a cut crease situation. Okay, and then once I've defined the line of the crease, I'm just gonna go ahead in with my finger. Actually no, I'm gonna use a flat-ish eyeshadow brush and just fill this bronzy orange in all over the center of the lid. So yeah, this is the only product that I own from the &B brand so far. I'm also really intrigued by their little, he has a cream eyeshadow product that I swatched in the store and it looked really amazing, but I'm sure it costs a bomb and I'm just not trying to spend that much on a highlighter right now. Although I'm a highlighter lover and I may have a slight problem with collecting too many, you know, overpriced, overhyped highlighters, that is just not at the top of the priority list at the moment, so I can't do it. I don't know, maybe one day in the future I will, because I do love this eyeshadow. One small word of caution though, the first time that I used this, I applied it directly onto my lid and it creased pretty badly by the end of the day. So I would definitely recommend using an eye primer underneath, which I usually do anyway. It's just that that day I was kind of in a rush. You know, ideally I would really like it if all cream products, particularly cream eyeshadows, if they would just eliminate the need for that extra step of eye primer. That would be really, really great, because the format of the product as a cream already, you would think that it would lend itself to that, right? Because it's already cream, so it's already like a semi-wet thing that you apply, and then, you know, once it dries down, you would hope that it stays that way without budging. Damn, I'm really liking the way that this is coming out. I know this is just kind of like a basic brown bronzy look, but I don't know, I just feel like these colors are popping against my skin really divinely. Like, it's just making me feel extra lionessy today, you know? Like, it's just making me feel extra lionessy today, you know? Leo gang 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 all day over here, okay? Okay, I'm gonna do eyeliner and eyelashes off camera to save time. Alright, I finished my eyes and I also went out to go grab some drinks. So it's about like an hour later. And I have some bad news for you guys. Unfortunately, this cream eyeshadow by &B did end up creasing again. Even with a proper eyeshadow base underneath. You can see it's pretty severe actually. It's like basically completely rubbed off of the area where my eyelid actually creases. By the way, ignore these weird little dark brown streaks on the edges of the cream eyeshadow. I tried to go in with more of the darker brown in the Etusee eyeshadow duo, but I accidentally hit like the border between the cream eyeshadow and the rest of the powder, so I don't know, I feel like it oxidized, because when I tried to layer on more brown eyeshadow on this area, I was never able to get it to reach the same intensity as this awkward brown line right here, so whatever, we're just gonna roll with it. I know it looks super weird. Yeah, so I do think it's kind of like disappointing and unacceptable, really. I don't think it's really acceptable for this formula to be creasing at all for the high price point that they put this at. It's just way too expensive to be delivering anything less than perfection. I will say I really do like the oil slick effect that it gives though. It's obviously a very oily, moist type of texture, so it's not, it never completely dries down, and I think that's necessary in order to keep the wet eyelid effect going. Okay, for blush, I'm going in with the RMK Beige Library Blush Duo in 03 Exotic. So this one can kind of be substituted as a contour, I think. I'm not sure if it was this exact shade, but I did see on RMK's Instagram page, they posted a video where they were applying this to a model, and the makeup artist straight up placed like this color right here on the sides of her face. So they didn't place it on any area where you would normally place blush, which is usually, you know, on the apples of your cheeks or sometimes even on the sides of your cheeks up here. No, they literally applied it like on the sides of her face, which is where most people would contour. So I think I'm gonna try that too. Okay, that looks super warm actually. Maybe I should have just applied it as a regular blush, but I'm gonna go grab a fluffy brush and buff this out. There we go, that looks halfway decent, I guess. Now let's go in with the highlighter portion, which is this nice little luminous gold over here, beige gold. I'm just gonna dust off the excess and use the little compact brush. So I love these highlighter powders on all of their new blush duos. They really just add such a sophisticated glow to the whole look. And then sometimes I don't even lay down the main blush color, I just use the highlighting powder on days when I want to go more minimal. Don't forget the chin. Last but not least, I picked up the Canmake Milky Luminous Rouge. I picked this up completely on a whim. I wasn't even thinking about Canmake. I'm not even like a huge fan of most Canmake lip products, as you guys know, but this color was so captivating that I just had to have it. As far as Canmake goes, it's actually a decent size, so I can't complain about that. And it has a really cute little heart imprint on the bullet there, which we're about to ruin. That is, look at that. Not many things that I love more than a bright orange beige that actually cancels out my natural lip color. This is pretty much all that I ask for from any and every Japanese drugstore brand. Like, the reason I tend to go so high-end with my lipstick choices is because you guys have heard me say this a million times, but a lot of drugstore lipsticks here, especially from the younger, trendier brands like Canmake or Vise or whatever, even Excel, I just feel like all of those brands, a lot of their lipstick shade ranges leave something to be desired, because a lot of them just dry down to this like really cheap pink or red neon looking tint or stain on my lips, and that's why I usually opt for high-end, because most high-end lipsticks have more depth and more concealing properties in them, and they are more like, yeah, like they're just more true to the color in the tube once it's actually on my lips. But this color right here, Canmake, 5 out of 5 stars. I was actually on the verge of buying like some 3,000 yen version of this lipstick. I forget what brand exactly. It wasn't department store, but it was one of the more expensive brands in the drugstore. So Esprit or Coffre d'Or, one of those brands. Yeah, they had like a bright orangish terracotta lipstick like this as well that I almost ended up purchasing just because I wanted the color so badly. But I'm so glad that I didn't, because lo and behold. And this retails for just under 1,000 yen after tax. A bit on the pricey side for Canmake, but for this color I do think it's worth it. Okay, so there we have it. This is my finished little terracotta autumnal look in winter, if you will. I feel like I was trying to talk about something at the beginning of this video, and then I got distracted as usual and only started focusing on the makeup as the video wore on. I was talking about how this day and age, if you want to be a successful makeup channel, you kind of have to well, you don't have to, but if you combine your makeup and beauty content with another topic that other people find interesting, such as true crime or movies or whatever, or just like any presentation about another interesting trending topic, that will help you grow your channel faster and increase your chances of success on YouTube, more than if you just solely focused on makeup. I've been thinking about that a lot lately. Like, I want to try my hand at that, but at the same time, it's just literally so much work. Not that I'm ever scared of doing work, but it's just so daunting because, like, you have to understand, I'm still just a regular person working a full-time job, trying to do YouTube on the side. Even just my videos that focus on makeup alone, a single 10-15 minute video, that's an automatic 24 to 48 hour investment on average to, you know, shoot the video and edit from start to finish. That takes up like an entire weekend. That takes up like an entire weekend for a single video. So it's just really overwhelming to think of that whole exhausting process as it is being multiplied however many times over if I were to combine it with another topic. One slightly less labor-intensive way to go about it would be for me to just tell story times from my own life while I'm doing my makeup. I mean, I don't have like anything crazy or dramatic happen to me on a regular basis,